Good morning, YouTube. It is Tuesday, June 7th, 2011, and this is the show for today, Nite Shift. Alright, I debated which topic I was going to first, because I'm thinking we might do two tonight, but we'll see how it goes. So tonight, we're going to do this topic first, and that is the following. Alright, I don't know how many of us that are on YouTube, amongst my subscriber base, actually watch pro wrestling. You know what I always find to be a very laughable and kind of comical trend on wrestling videos anymore? Now, let me clarify. When I say wrestling videos, I mean people that actually put up matches on YouTube, especially like what is it, TNA's YouTube channel. Yes, the YouTube channel is actually still called TNA Wrestling, despite the fact that it has been officially branded Impact Wrestling. But anyway, it's always funny when you go and look on those videos and you look in the comments, and there's at least one motherfucker that has to go and put the following 3-word comment in the video: fake and gay. Well, dumbass, let me ask a question. If you're going to type that into a comment thread, then why the fuck did you watch it in the first place? Here, I'm going to let everybody in on newsflash. Yes, it's sports entertainment. Yes, the endings are predetermined. Yes, the angles are predetermined. Yes, they come up with, ways to write people off for injury time or vacation time. They come up with injuries or whatever. Or to kill off a character, they'll have some career-ending injury. Their career may not be legitimately ended, but they might do that to kill off a character for that federation or whatever. But it's always funny that you always have to have somebody clearly point out that the fact that it's fake. Like I said, you're not breaking any news. Not to me, anyway. Yes, like I said, they stop their punch about like this. Usually when they hit somebody over the head with a chair, they're protected. And yes, they learn how to fall from extraordinary heights, or yes, when they're bleeding, they take a razor blade and they cut themselves. You're not telling me anything I don't already know, because I've seen the movies, trust me. There's been movies, there's been TV specials on professional wrestling and how they work it. I mean, really, you think you're going to break news? Maybe to the 0.00000000000000001% of the people that haven't gotten the freaking memo yet. But to everyone else, you're not breaking any. It's actually quite comical when you think about it. There's no such thing as real pro wrestling. The closest you may come is Ring of Honor. That's about it. And don't give me ECW, because that was more garbage wrestling than it was anything else. And before you go and defend it, yes, I used to watch it. Actually had some of that stuff on tape before I figured out that it was mostly garbage bullshit and stopped trying to tape it at 11:30 at night on the infomercial station that was on here in New Jersey. That's why, honestly, anybody tells me about hardcore wrestling or hardcore matches, I just immediately go, ah. But it's like, you people who make it a point to make it a crusade to tell us that professional wrestling is fake, or that something that happened during a show was fake. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. The idea is to make you believe that was real. Now, sometimes some federations they make it blatantly obvious that it's fake. Some they try not to, but it's hard to hide. Especially with the internet now, we can just look up anything you want about pro wrestling. That's one thing that Vince Russo said in a shoot interview, that you had to try and stay ahead of the internet. And he said this when he was the writer for WWE in 1996. And WWE, he was part of the reason that WWE actually did some good. I don't know what the fuck's going on in TNA. I don't think it's all his fault, though. That's just me personally. But yeah, there's my memo to people who have to break that professional wrestling is fake and gay. Before you go and type that, just count how many brain cells you have in your head first. That's all. Alright. Now we got that out of the way. And then I had to defend pro wrestling from these stupid idiots. Let's talk about an event for the gaming industry called E3. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but me personally, I'm not the world's biggest fan of E3, and I've mentioned this before. Okay, I don't really get, how you get these, these game companies, and it's usually the big ones, because usually the smaller game companies I don't think are there typically, like Miss America or a company like that, or Axis, the company that made the 999 game. They're trying to sell, magazines on the fact that their games are going to be great. But the reality is, those people who are going to be playing those games, and this is reality now, alright? Especially if you're a magazine or a website, you're going to get the game for free anyways. So you can do a review on it or a preview. The Joe public doesn't necessarily get to go to these events. Okay? The closest thing there may be to a event for the gaming public would be maybe PAX. Okay? And it has to be in your area. Now, there was a PAX up in, I think it was Boston this year. I was asked by GameStream if I was going. The answer was no. But it's because it wasn't in Philly, or I might have considered it. But it's like, we don't really have that many gaming expos for the public anymore. Now, we used to have, I think it was the Consumer Electronics. It was Consumer Electronics Show, I think. I think that was the closest thing we had before we had E3. But it's always funny to me how, at least in my opinion, you should be selling people like us on the games by us actually being at these events. Not the people who, got news for you, 9 times out of 10, you're paying anyway. Please, and let me go ahead and say this for now. You don't think magazines like GamePro, the PlayStation Magazine, and Xbox Magazine are getting paid by these motherfuckers at some point? Or getting paid, or getting a paycheck for some reason? Please. We all know the Kane Lynch story, right? GameSpot, big thing up on the background. Then some idiot, then some guy gives the game a shit review basically and gets fired for it. That was a fun one, but anyway, it's like, and I know what you're gonna say. Well, you can always watch it on G4. Yeah, you mean the Cops Network? The only thing G4 is good for is American Ninja Warrior. Or excuse me, Ninja Warrior, period. That's it. Like, I really want to deal with a bunch of people who really don't give two shits about the gaming industry. You know, but they're getting paid. So they pretend like they do, and they're fake. Stop. Just stop, please. So, like, these people, if you watch E3, or the coverage of E3, that's fine. I got news for you. Was it last year or the year before that when Weeby was going for the record on Donkey Kong? Got news for you. I watched the E3 that year on the G4, but I was watching the Weeby coverage. That was it. I didn't give a shit. I didn't give a shit about Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo press conference. Why? Why am I going to care? They're going to talk about the same games every year. You know, it'd be good for a sleeping pill, and considering I have insomnia, that would help, but, you know, no. I don't care. You know, I love it that when I'm on Twitter, you got people talking about and some of these people aren't getting paid, obviously. Some of these people are just, you know, regular blokes like me. But it's like, they talk about it on Twitter, and you're like, really? That's what we're talking about? Alright. I don't see the point in it. But if that's what we're going to talk about, fine. And the only reason I say I don't understand why you know, E3 is a big hype is because, and I mentioned this when I did the E3 tag, you can show me a game, you can show me a nice little trailer about 10 seconds. Show me the gameplay, motherfucker. You know why Square Enix wasn't going to show you more than 10 seconds when they were showing you, what was it, Final Fantasy 13? Because they knew that the rest of the game was going to be a piece of shit. Final Fantasy 14? Let's not even discuss that one. I should feel better now. I really do. I need to get that out of my system. But, one more thing in closing. The package from CD Japan is currently in the shipping process, so that one will be coming soon. How soon? Don't know. But, all goes accordingly. As I mentioned before, there should be 2 packages maybe this week. But on that, you all have a good night. I will talk to you all in the very near future, and until then, y'all shift is over.